In example 2, we're going to do something very similar, but instead we have to factor the denominator first. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing that I would notice in the bottom here is that I can take out an x. So I'm going to start with that. My numerator stays the same, 2x squared plus 3x plus 36. And if I take an x out on the bottom, I have x times x squared plus 6x plus 9. And then I can look to continue to factor. X squared plus 6x plus 9 can factor into x plus 3 times x plus 3. So my numerator again stays the same. And my denominator now is x times x plus 3 times x plus 3. So if I rewrite this, I can look at this x plus 3 is actually to the second power. So I'm going to rewrite it as the following. I have 2x squared plus 3x plus 36 over x times x plus 3 to the second power. This just helps me recognize that this is a linear factor that's repeated. So here's how I'm going to rewrite it. So now I need to do my equal sign with my a's and b's. So I'm going to have a over x plus b over x plus 3 plus c over x plus 3 squared. So remember, if it's a linear factor, we need the x plus 3 and the x plus 3 squared. We kind of work our way up. Then what I want to do is I want to multiply by my least common denominator. So here I multiply by my LCD. And in this case, my least common denominator is x times x plus 3 squared. If I do that, my first term here, well actually let's go to the left hand side. If I multiply this by x times x plus 3 squared, it cancels out that entire denominator, and I'm just left with the numerator. So I have 2x squared plus 3x plus 36 equal to, now if I take a over x times this whole thing, the x's will cancel out, and I'll be left with a times x plus 3 squared. So I have a times x plus 3 squared. Oops, I don't like how that looks, so let's fix that so it looks a little bit nicer. So this is x plus 3 squared. There we go. Then I'm going to take this b over x plus 3. If I multiply that by here, this x plus 3 will cancel out just one of these x plus 3's. So I'll be left with a plus b times an x and times an x plus 3. And then if I take a look at my last term, this one times here, the denominator, that x plus 3 squared on both of them will cancel out, and I'll be left with just a plus c times x. Now I can go kind of move around everything on that right-hand side. So the first thing I need to do is I need to multiply out x plus 3 squared. So I have a times x plus 3 squared. There's a shortcut in order to solve something that's squared. You can either take it over on the side and do the x plus 3 times x plus 3, or you can learn the shortcut of squaring something. I'm going to go through that shortcut with you. If you're squaring something, you square the first term, so that gives me x squared. Then you multiply these two terms together, so positive x times positive 3 is a positive 3x, and you double it to make it 6x. And then you always square the last term, so 3 squared is 9. Now again, if you don't like to do that, you don't have to. You could go off to the side and take x plus 3 times x plus 3 and then FOIL it all out. That's your other option. And then once you have that FOILed out, then you can bring it back into here. Then if I continue, I have bx times x, which is bx squared. And bx times 3 is going to be positive 3bx. And then I still have my cx at the end. I still have one more step of distributing because I have to distribute the a now. So I have ax squared plus 6ax plus 9a, and then everything else will stay the same. I still have my bx squared, I still have my 3bx, and I still have my cx. Now I want to go ahead and factor out my x's and my x squareds, or actually let's group together the x squareds and the x's. As I group those together, I'm also going to factor that x squared out if that's okay. So if I take a look, here's an x squared term, and here's an x squared term. So I'm going to take that x squared out, and it's multiplied by a plus b. Then I'm going to go ahead and find my x terms. So I have a 6ax here, a 3bx here, and a cx right here. So that's going to be x out in front, and then I have 6a plus 3b plus c. And then the constant that I have left over is just this 9a. So then I can add together my constant, which is 9a. Move this up a little bit. Then what I want to recognize is that I have this a plus b. This is my coefficient of my x squared term, so that's going to be equal to 2. So I know a plus b equals 2. And then I have this term right here, 6a plus 3b plus c. That's the coefficient of my x, which is 3. So I know 6a plus 3b plus c has to equal 3. And then finally, I know that my 9a here, this is my constant, which has to be my constant over here. So I know that 9a has to equal 36. So then I have to solve this system. Well, if I know that 9a is equal to 36, so if 9a equals 36, if I divide both sides by 9, I know that a is equal to 4. And if a is equal to 4, and a plus b is 2, I can say that 4 plus b equals 2. So b is negative 2. And then I can use my last equation here. I can plug in the a value, I can plug in the b value, and solve for c. So I know 6a, oops, we're substituting in 4. Here, let's erase that. So 6 times 4, then plus 3 times negative 2, plus c. Move this over a little bit. Equals 3. So 6 times 4 is 24, minus 6 plus c is going to equal 3. So then I have 24 minus 6, which is 18, plus c equal to 3, so c is negative 15. Then I can go ahead and write my solution. If I plug my a, b, and c values back in up here on the top, I get the following. I have 4 over x plus negative 2 over x plus 3 plus negative 15 over x plus 3 squared. Then I would like you to do the try this. So if you go to letter A, go ahead and try that one out and unpause it when you're ready to check your answer. If you did letter A correctly, you should get your answer to be 1 over x minus 1 plus 1 over x minus 1 squared plus 3 over x minus 1 to the third. If you have any questions, please let me know.